Here to get into one of my favorite musicians of all time, Milton Nascimento. And this thing is just very different from any other musician or artist I've ever heard because Milton Nascimento is just simply continuing the foundation of the best of the 60s, like the Beatles and the best of the Beach Boys was kind of laying out, which is sort of just finding happiness within depression. Because there was like, this is the language is Portuguese that's being spoken throughout this man's music. So I literally approach this man differently, to where I don't really think I want to do the man justice by sitting down and just talking about his albums on myself, but just simply talking about the feeling I get when I listen to this man. Simply some of the best melodies I've ever heard, especially on the album Club de Esquina. Like literally about 16 or 17 songs on there that are just simply all-time masterpieces that come from a lot of tragedy, but literally people who find their fulfillment and happiness through just the joy of creation. And it's exactly the tone the Beatles have, and the Beach Boys. But this is like maybe even just as beautiful. And there's a flow here that does remind me a lot of the White Album, particularly. Just taking in a lot of folk influence, taking in a lot of just an ultimate expression of just melodies, really, and just singing that's so beautiful and dreamy. It reminds me also a lot of the album Forever Changes. I love that's one of my favorite albums of all time because I think that has the best philosophy of the '60s outside of the Beatles and Bob Dylan. I don't know. There's just something about Milton Nascimento that just really puts me at ease, and it's just kind of one of the best sounds I've ever heard. Um, the Brazilian aesthetic again just really captivates me a lot. Its atmosphere, it's just really beautiful. Um, Again, you just have all these songs that just feel like they're just telling really dark stories. But again, you don't know the language, so when you feel it, it's just different altogether. And again, it gets me to the truest, rawest essence of what I'm here for the music for in the first place, which is the melodies, not what the lyrics are telling me. So I think this is just a little different at taking me kind of back to that pure sense. Since I don't understand the language, it literally is just an artist I just really want to take down and sit down, and just listen to something that's overwhelmingly beautiful. But it's also very pop, so I can listen to it anywhere. It's not too overbearing, unless you're just not in the mood for something that is just a foreign language. But I feel like the voice is an instrument. I think a lot of the best music kind of communicates the voice as an instrument, like the Beatles and Radiohead. That's really hooded on that for me. But it's like it's an instrument, not a not just a tool for words necessarily. It's just what goes into it. Excuse me. But that's just Milton Nascimento. I don't know. He just makes me really proud, really happy. Some of these songs just hit a level of Nirvana that's just as good as like the best of the '60s stuff, really. And it came out in 1972, so that's just all the more powerful to me and all the more heavy. It almost feels like a lot of the dark side of psychedelia is kind of at its final days in a way. So this is just kind of done in a really beautiful, harshly beautiful way. You can tell there's a lot of trouble going on in the environment. A lot of under a lot of probably been under a lot of authority. So I knew there was a lot politically. This was certainly a tough time, what I've read up and I don't understand. That's why I don't talk too much about the songs because I don't know the depth of tragedy that was going into the optimism that they found. So I almost just admire and respect it so much that I just have to listen and just feel it. There's a sense of love that they're expressing here. It's almost too good. And that's just Milton Nascimento. It's really simple. Like, and their albums I particularly would suggest is Club de Esquina, and its sequel has some pretty good moments as well. But then, yeah, the album Minas is great. Then the self-titled Milton. I mean, there's just songs he just makes that are just really timeless. There's about like kind of about 30 songs. I'm just like, yeah, I just want to take that to a treasure island forever. I'd be okay just on these Milton Nascimento songs because of the extent of beauty they evoke and perfection within the melodies and just a mood that they take you to, which is just a trance-like state, a dreamy place of something better than just everything that's going on around you, really. But yeah, it's pure and simple, really. I just highly suggest going through this, man. Milton Nascimento, one of a kind. Right? It's really a one of a kind.